Welcome to this episode of Film, Gear, and Review. I'm Thaddeus Setla, Director of Photography for Emerging Media Studios. And with me in the studios we have...
Josh Hatfield. I'm with California Media Solutions.
Thank you, Josh, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'll tell you what, every time I come to your shop, we start talking a little more about film gear. You know, you always seem to come up with something that's pretty cool. And you brought a little something extra today to the studios.
I know, I do.
Tell me a little bit about what you brought.
Well, this is the new LIBEC-450 tripod system. It's a new RS system that LIBEC came out. They've got 3 tripods in the system. They have the 250, the 350, and the 450. There's 2 options. You could have a mid-level spreader, which this one does have, or you can have a floor spreader. Now, I have a question. You know, what would you prefer? A mid-level spreader or a floor spreader?
You know, so far the floor spreaders are really only good in, say, indoor type of filming arrangements, and ultimately not even good then, because maybe you're in a theater and you've got staircases and things to kind of maneuver around or whatever. So I'm a bit a fan of the mid-level spreader compared to the floor spreader.
So if you don't know your environment, you definitely want to go with a mid-level.
That's a safe bet. It really is. So I've noticed it's got the floor spreader, or the mid-level spreader here, and it looks pretty adjustable.
Yeah, it does. It actually has got a push-button feature on the mid-level spreader. You can actually have it at 180 degrees or 45 degrees. So if you need to get in a tighter spot, you can put it at that 45-degree angle and make the tripod a little more narrow. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, a couple of the things that I'm noticing just by looking at it, it's a little heavier. It definitely feels a little more rugged than, say, your carbon fiber.
Yeah.
So I kind of have shied away from the carbon fiber, been kind of turned off a little bit. So I'm pretty excited about the fact that it feels sturdy.
Well, I think in the past people had really, the carbon fiber caught on because the cameras were so heavy, and to lug around a tripod that weighed 40 or 50 pounds, just it was too much. So that's when the carbon fiber came about. Now the cameras are getting smaller. Do you really need carbon fiber? I don't think so, because the tripods really aren't as big as what they used to be. So aluminum works great, and it's less expensive. So
I'll tell you, one of the other things I found out is I've been taking my tripods on the airplane. So I've been packaging up and whatever. And I just found that even one of my carbon fiber tripods, it gets beat up just going through the luggage. So I'm really excited to see something that is a little more on the aluminum side. So now let's talk a little bit of price. Indie filmmakers, we do it all on a budget.
Right.
So I can tell you that this looks more expensive than the tripods that I've purchased before, some of the Gitzo or the Manfrados or anything like that. What can you tell me about the price of this?
Well, I mean, if you look at the actual, I wouldn't really consider this a comparable product to a Gitzo. I think maybe more of a O'Connor or a Vinton or a Sackler. Okay. I think that's where this product really aligns. And if you do match it up with, specs and the pricing, it is a lot lower price product than those by about $400 or $500.
So what can an indie filmmaker look at to pick something? Now, granted, it does come with the head. Let's talk about what you get with the package. So you get the head. Which ultimately we haven't really gotten into all the features of the head. You get the tripod. You get a tri-level, right? Tri-level tripod with the removable pads on the feet. 75 millimeter head.
Right.
With
a bag.
It comes with a bag. Mm-hmm. It also comes with the weight on this goes up to what, 26 pounds?
26 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, most of the cameras that I'm dealing with, you go anywhere from the HVX200 to the EX1s, the EX3s. I can see that anywhere in between, or even some of the lighter cameras, the NX cam, that they may actually be more towards. This looks like it would field all of those cameras. Yeah,
and actually this is kind of rated towards like a 10 to 26 pound camera, so it's actually really good because if just like you said, your NX cam or your EX1 or EX3, you're going to be loading tons of accessories onto those cameras. You're going to be adding matte boxes or other type of battery systems, or your wireless systems, or your hard drive systems. So this actually is great for building your camera system up, because you can start with the basic weight of camera, which is about 10 pounds. And then by the time you add the accessories on, you're probably looking closer to 20 pounds. Like your EX3 system right now, like we talked about earlier, is about 20 pounds.
Yeah, it definitely gained with all the accessories. So tell me a little bit more about, comparing this head to many of the heads that people buy, the 503s, the 519s, those type of heads. What? Give me a little bit of a differentiation between the two.
It's really cool. They've got a new drag system. It's kind of they've got two different wheels on it for panning and tilting. They call it it's a free plus 3, which basically you have 4 settings. So the free is obviously 0, and it has no drag. It's basically free flowing, moving. So and then you have your different drag weights, kind of, I would say. It's got another cool feature, and I know that you've kind of used this in other tripods and maybe didn't have the luck that you would have with this as tripod, but it has a built-in LED light. So if you need to get it leveled or whatever, and you're in a dark environment, you can actually do that with this tripod, which is great.
I really enjoy that, actually, because it can come. A lot of shoots that I do, it is in kind of dark environments, so it's nice to have, knowing you gotta zero things out.
And it's not something you think of like when you're buying a tripod. Do I need an LED light on there, really?
Right.
But you
definitely.
But yeah,
I would have used it definitely in a couple situations. Well, I really appreciate you coming by with the new LIBEC, and I'll tell you what, if this is going to be, I'll be purchasing soon, so I'm going to be looking at the LIBEC pretty good. And honestly, given everything that I've seen here so far, everything from the 75mm ball, mid-level spreader, the tri-stage tripod, the weight up to 26 pounds, all of the accessories with the head, you're getting all of this for what?
Yeah, about $1,500 street price.
$1,500.
Yeah, that's a great value for this.
Wow. Well, all in all, I think this is a better type of tripod than what I currently have, and so rating wise, I'd give it probably a 4 to 4.5 on 4.5 stars on overall use for an indie filmmaker. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it's coming to the market about $500 lower than competitors, so I'd give it a 4.5 stars.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna check you on that and say I've got a couple shoots coming up. I'm excited to try and maybe take it out for a spin.
You got it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for watching this episode of Film Gear and Review. Until next time, this is Thaddeus Setla.
This is Josh Hatfield.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.